I'm Steve Wilkerson, and I'm with David Royse, Executive Editor of the News Service of Florida. David, big happening today. It's Monday. Others will see it after today, but Jim Greer pled guilty, former Executive Director or Chairman of the Republican Party of Florida. He pled guilty to 4 counts of theft. I think it took most everyone by surprise.
Yeah, I don't know if it's terribly surprising because it avoids what could have been a really embarrassing trial for particularly the Republican Party itself, but a lot of people. And so I think everybody involved was kind of hoping there'd be a plea deal to avoid Jim Greer sort of airing the dirty laundry of the Republican Party during the time he was chairman.
Did you hear a sound in Tallahassee going?
Yeah, that was coming from the George Bush Center downtown, the Republican Party headquarters. This trial could have been ugly. It's really strange because if it had gone forward and Jim Greer had testified about all of the things that went on during the time he was chairman, and he was probably going to talk about some of the lavish spending, but some of the sort of backroom deals and infighting, and the party would have basically said, as they have all along, that Jim Greer can't be believed even under oath. And Greer has said several times that he was going to go down swinging and he was going to tell all the tales and bring people down with him. And so I think that even if this had gone to trial, I'm not sure how much of what we would have heard would have been something we could have really taken to the bank as true or not. This has been an ugly divorce between Jim Greer and the Republican Party, and it's wrapped up in Charlie Crist.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because the question is, why did Charlie Crist essentially choose him to become the chairman of the party?
And who knows? And that's the big question. I mean, Jim Greer was the hand-picked party chairman of Charlie Crist, who at that time was a Republican and was becoming the governor of Florida. And I think in the wake of this whole debacle, the downfall of Jim Greer, it does raise questions about Charlie Crist's judgment in choosing this previously largely unknown. He was a vice mayor of Oviedo, I think, an Orlando suburb. This guy to lead the party. What Greer was convicted of was theft, as you said. Essentially, he had this scheme where, because he was chairman of the party, he steered the party's fundraising money, and he steered it through a company that was going to boost fundraising for the party. Well, that company was owned by Jim Greer, so he essentially paid himself more money to boost the party's fundraising. The big question, and there's no question that that's what happened, but the big question is, did the party know this was going on, and did they okay it? Greer says they did. The party says he was freelancing. And, if he had been able to go on the stand and say, this is the party knew, and these are the other kinds of deals that we had, and these are the kind of things that were going on. Again, I think it could have been embarrassing for a lot of people, but as to how much you would know was true or not, I think that would be the party's line of attack. None of this is true.
Well, the biggest damage potentially is putting some of this in a 30-second television spot in the governor's race if Charlie Crist runs as a Democrat.
Yeah, and I think that is still likely to happen. If Charlie Crist does run for governor as a Democrat, of course there's no love lost at all between the Republican Party of Florida and their former governor, Charlie Crist, who's bolted the party, taken no opportunity to criticize, skipped no opportunity to criticize the party, and I think that's still, I think all along, the effort to tie Charlie Crist to Jim Greer has been something the party has talked about quite a bit as this saga has played out. But I think that remains an option for them. Now not only is, Jim Greer, did he sort of bring disrepute to the Republican Party. He's now a convicted felon, and has essentially admitted to all of these things. I think tying a convicted felon who's going to spend some time in prison for theft, to Charlie Crist, I think is still going to be something the Republican Party is interested in if Crist decides to run for governor.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
For more about Florida politics and government, visit the Advances section of our website.